We are a kingdom of priests. Now, this concept is all through Scripture. And now, when I say priest, in my understanding of Scripture, we are under the order of Melchizedek. He is our high priest, and we are the priest. And I'm not speaking of Aaron's structure because that one's done away with. But I want to narrow what I believe Yahushua, Jesus, and what Scripture, when Peter says that we are a kingdom of priests, like what is our obligations? Peter says it the best in chapter 2, 1 Peter chapter 2, and it says, come to him as a living stone, rejected indeed by man, but chosen by God. So come to Jesus. You are also living stones. You are being built up as a spiritual house, a holy priesthood to offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. This is why I believe that David is called a man after God's own heart. He understood the spiritual nature of the priesthood from the very beginning. There's many Psalms where he would say things like, he who offers the offering of joy glorifies me, and things of that nature. But I want to come back to Job here. In chapter 1, we see that Job has 7 sons, and he has feasts for them on their appointed days. Now, there are some pretty good correlations to their 7 festivals, and those are called appointed days, but we don't necessarily know what those days are because Job doesn't tell us. However, what we do know about Job is he's a Gentile, and in my understanding of Scripture and dating, this exists before the nation of Israel. But what I like is what he does. It says in verse 5, and the days of feasting had run their course, that Job would send and sanctify, speaking of his sons, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. And he was worried that they would sin, and he wanted to cover their sin. Now we know we have Jesus who covers our sin, but that concept should be one that's in our home. We should be praying for our kids regularly. Not only that, we should be asking them how we can pray for them, getting them to think about things spiritually, and making the whole structure of spiritual accountability a norm in your home. And I think these are aspects of the priesthood that I would love to talk more about, and just for people to understand, because they're tangible. And that's what we need in our faith, is just things that are tangible. We're saved by faith alone, absolutely. But the fruit of our salvation comes in what we do and how we respond. And we are called priests, and we should gird up our loins and take responsibility of our priestly opportunities and duties, and be wise and diligent with them.